Welcome to the Confidence Igniter podcast, where we do more than talk about confidence. We build it, we live it, and we walk it out. And I am your host. My name is Tamiko Green. Well, today's episode is intended to open your eyes, not to attack you, not to divide you, but awaken you. Today's episode is titled Confidence Beyond the Ballot. Let me ask you a yes or no question. Have you ever judged someone or felt judged simply because of how they voted? Yes or no? Now, let me ask you something different, even deeper. Have you ever dismissed someone's intelligence, questioned their character, or distance yourself from them because their political view did not match yours? Now, be honest. And if that has happened to you, if you have been on the receiving end of that, how did it feel? Did it feel fair? Did it feel respectful? Did it feel mature? Today is not about policy. It is not about parties. It is not about platform. It is about posture. It is about maturity. And it is about whether your confidence is strong enough to stand firm without tearing someone else down. Because real confidence does not collapse. When someone thinks differently, somewhere along the way, political preference became a personal identity. Disagreements became division and opinions became offense. We stopped saying, I see it differently, and started saying, you are the problem. And when you reduce someone to a ballot, you erase their humanity. You erase their experiences, their upbringing, their fears, their hope, their logic, their reasoning, their value. And confident people do not erase people. Confident people understand this, that I can stand firm without being hostile. I can disagree without being disrespected. I can hold conviction without losing character. That is grown confidence. So let's talk about the double standard. Most people do not like being stereotyped. Most people do not like being dismissed. And most people do not like being labeled, and I know I don't. But sometimes the same people who say, don't judge me, are the quickest to judge someone else. See, we say we want tolerance, but only for I. We say we want unity, but only if it agrees with us. That is not confidence. That is insecurity dressed up as conviction. And if your peace disappears when someone disagrees with you, that is not strength. If your respect for someone vanishes because of a ballot, that is not maturity. Confidence is steady. Confidence is stable. Confidence does not panic when challenged. Now, let me shift your thinking. See, most successful businesses do not care how you vote. They care that you bring value. They care that you participate. They care that you engage. And let me make this very plain. Because, see, Apple does not scan your voter's registration card. Target does not check party affiliations before you walk through the door. And Amazon does not filter deliveries based on ideology. They do not ask if you are red. They do not ask if you are blue. They do not ask what sign was in your yard. They focus on value. They focus on service. They focus on exchange. Why? Because successful systems understand something. Emotional, reactive people forget value transcends opinion. See, you can disagree and still do business. You can differ and still collaborate. You can think differently and still build something together. See, mature environments understand that diversity of thought fuels innovation. Emotional immaturity environments demand uniformity to feel safe, and yet confidence does not require uniformity. Confidence requires stability. If billion-dollar companies can serve people across party lines, why can't we not show basic respect across them? If they can separate transaction from tension, why can't we not separate disagreement from disrespect? That is not about politics. That is about emotional discipline. Let me give you an analogy that might wake you up. Picture a pyramid. At the top of that pyramid are people with strategy, influence, resources, and long term plans. And at the bottom of that pyramid are everyday people like you and I, families, workers, neighbors, church members, small business owners, community leaders. Now, watch this carefully. If the people at the bottom are busy fighting each other, red versus blue, left versus right, this side versus that side, who keeps building? The people at the top. While we are arguing, they are advancing. While we bicker, they consolidate. While we divide, they structure. Division at the bottom creates expansion at the top. And sometimes we are so emotionally invested in being right that we never realize that we are participating in our own stagnation. And confidence require awareness. Confidence asks, who benefits from my division? Confidence refuse to be emotionally manipulated by constant outrage. Let me bring this home personally. Because, see, I'm running for a political office right here in the state of Georgia. I'm running on economic development and healthcare, and those issues impact everyone. Economic development affects business owners, workers, families, seniors, and entrepreneurs. Healthcare affects parents, children, veterans, small business owners, and the elderly. These are not red issues. These are not blue issues. These are human issues. And if I alienate half the room, I limit my impact. If I shut down conversations with people who disagrees with me, how can I represent a full community? If I refuse to listen because someone voted differently, how can I build solutions that serve everyone? Leadership requires listening. Leadership requires discipline. Leadership requires emotional intelligence. If I rise above the noise, I become a bridge. And leaders build bridges. They don't burn them. Bridges create movement. Bridges create opportunities. Bridges create collaboration. Fires create ashes. And I refuse to lead from ashes. Your relationships must be bigger than your ballot. You never know who you might need. You never know who might open a door for you, who might partner with you, who might invest in you, who might help your child, who might pray for you, who might hire you. If you burn every bridge because someone else sees the world differently, you are shrinking your future based on temporary emotions. Confidence builds bridges over differences. Confidence does not cancel people over disagreements. Now let's check ourselves. Because when you hear someone vote differently than you, what happens inside you? Do you tense up? Do you assume they are ignorant? Do you question their morality? Do you shut down before they even finish speaking? That reaction tells you more about you than it does about them. Bias works both ways. When we judge someone for their political party, we become the very prejudice we claim to fight. Confidence says, I will not become what I oppose. That is strength. Let me be clear. I'm not asking you to abandon your beliefs. I'm asking you to elevate your behavior. Conviction without character is chaos. Belief without maturity is dangerous. You can be passionate and peaceful. You can be firm and fair. You can disagree and still demonstrate dignity. That is leadership. That is confidence. The most powerful leaders understand collation. They understand alignment. They understand negotiation. They understand that no meaningful progress happens in an echo chamber. If you only surround yourself with people who thinks exactly like you, yeah, you'll feel comfortable, but you will not grow. Growth requires friction. Solution requires conversation. Impact requires collaboration, and collaboration requires humility. Do not let politics cost you purpose. Do not let pride cost you partnership. Do not let ego cost you opportunities. Do not let temporary disagreements destroy permanent relationships. We can vote differently and still value each other. Your ballot is a choice, but your character is a decision. And confidence look good on you. Here is your challenge this week. Have one conversation with someone who sees the world differently, not to win, not to argue, not to convert, but just to understand. Listen without preparing your rebuttal. Ask questions without sharpening your defense. Practice maturity, practice discipline, practice confidence because leaders do not inflame division. Leaders evaluate discussions. Leaders build bridges. They do not burn them. The world does not need more noise. It needs more confident people who can stand firm without tearing others down. Once again, the world does not need more noise. Be confident enough to know that it is okay to disagree. This is your time to rise up, power up, and step up and walk in confidence beyond the ballot. Well, this has been the episode here on the Confidence Igniter podcast. I truly hope that it has awakened or enlightened you. And I also hope that you take a moment out to share, subscribe, and like. I want to remind you of the food distribution that happens every third week at Fortified City Christian Church at 2477 Canton Road, and that's in Marietta, Georgia. Don't forget, every third Saturday, the food distribution is held at Fortified City Christian Church, 2477 Road in Marietta, Georgia. Until we meet again, I hope you have a wonderful day. And remember, walk in confidence beyond the ballot. Have a great day. Bye bye.